later. But I'm not preparing, I get the stuff prepared a week or two before, so I have all the stuff done, but I'm intentionally not studying it in advance. I'm just coming at it to build up, to go in, to make the sense out of each thing, and to build up and talk around it simply as I'm going through. So you see the stream of thinking as I'm coming along. And because we've done each planet, each sign, each planet, each sign, that's, I'm going through it, but I tend to be a little faster, a little quicker with it. I'm trying to put the pieces together a little bit more. And the more you're able to do this, like this will come. By the time you're in 5 or 10 charts, you can go into these things much faster. You just stop, make sure you touch the sign, make sure you touch the house, then you see the aspects, and you kind of got it. Eventually, you're going to be working faster with other people's charts, but whenever a planet is touched, some planet is being afflicted or challenged in your chart, you see that chart's being afflicted, then you back up and you go deeper. You go back to do the categories, and you in the signs and the houses, and you go back into these more deeply to find the solutions to the difficulties going on, because the transits will be challenging those factors. And even though it's difficult, there's a difficult aspect, it's difficult. Why? Because it's taking you away from or challenging the standard of how you're expressing those energies. So suddenly a certain amount of effort from a difficult transit forces you to develop this planet and to fight for that planet, or you get sidetracked and you have to come back to it. So to understand how to advise someone with it, you have to be able to go and pick up on the Mercury in Cancer tied into the moon. You can see all of that. And it's squared by Saturn, so the cautious, the late development, or the inhibition about writing or things. But really, to accomplish something that you've written, especially to be respected for something you've written, to be able to lecture and speak at a conference and stuff like that, be wanted to, or that would be perfect for her. So anything that brought out like conferences or conventions of astrology or whatever, that Jupiter's in the 11th, she would be noticed, but she'd have to have something she accomplished, or she would feel everyone else has done something. What am I doing here? She'd feel very insecure in it. So getting the accomplishment, she has to find that. She will, through her understanding, eventually she'll live up to this. But always the past tends to hold her back and cause complications. And in that past comes the need for physical security, stability, comfort. It's, I want to be stable at Moon in Taurus. I want to have comforts, Moon in Taurus. But the cost of the comforts gets confusing. And that's the Venus in the 12th house. But the social cause, or the raising money to help save kids or save people, boy, she clicked into something dedicated like that, she would be the best fundraiser in the world. And be really respected for it. Or championing a cause, like she had eating problems. If she wrote a book, an astrological book about eating problems or eating complexes, and got respect for it, boy, everyone would want her to be talking. So your past, you can't run away from it. It's the roots, and the complications and the problems of your past are the roots to your memories, and they nurture your soul. It's from those bad experiences, or good or bad experiences, that we draw our nurturing, that builds up our confidence to guide us to what we need to do. I got to get out of this, or I got to use this. It's if you cut off your roots and you're not going back, you're not looking at the past, most likely she would have to get away from mom or get away from culture, from that Moon Neptune. And most likely she could be in, that means marriages or other things could be across languages, across cultures, and it's complicated. That's almost normal in today's world. But when she gets not appreciated, when she's not appreciated, she doesn't feel she's living up, she puts on weight, she indulges the Moon in Taurus and eats these things, and then gets overweight. I thought like that. Then she would feel really guilty about it. And then she would get that Venus, Pluto, the fear of not being loved, and no one likes me because I'm fat or I'm overweight, so I have to starve myself to get there. And it would go to the opposite extreme, the guilt around this. So it goes to getting it perfectly together and then having trouble to live up to it. But when she gets lazy or indulgence, or caught into overindulgence, things, too much sugar, too much drinks, whatever, when she gets into that, she doesn't need to drink, she's too sensitive to drink. Getting stoned or drunk would really pull out the negative sides in her and bring out this deep reflecting side. But seeing that and understanding that and going beyond it would allow her to shine and write, and she could write about how to grow out of one situation and blossom into another. And that's what she does with her life. So, like I said, when something comes up around family, like you go back 5 or 6 years, Neptune was squaring her moon. A lot of confusion around that. And when mom would pass with whatever, and then they come up, the guilds come up, then now it's moved on. It's not touching that. Saturn's in Capricorn, it's not touching it yet, but 4 years ago, it was opposing when Neptune was squaring. Saturn was opposing her. She wasn't feeling very good herself at all. And it may have been reflected in family, but it probably could have come down to her diet and her food and having real problems around disciplining that too. So, I mean, this is the lens, but it's a multifaceted kaleidoscope of images with all sorts of facets. We usually look at one thing at a person. When you see all these sides, you see all the potentials and you see all the complications. She has to grow into it and take her own chart and take control of it. And I think having her own business and being set up for it would be the stronger thing, would be the strongest thing she could do. So, okay. Yeah, I'm going to leave it here. This is as much as I can say. I'll send you the next week's charts. We got, this is 4, we got four or five more charts of people to do. And the last 3 charts we do in the class, we're going to take famous people, and I'm going to do Donald Trump's just because it's so contemporary, and I'm going to do Carl Jung's and Sigmund Freud's to complete the group. So we have a couple of this, but these ones we're taking just or people, like they're students of astrology, yes. But you can see if she got the depth of astrology to understand her situation, and then was writing it and showing it, wow, that's really that's like a flower blossoming out of the bush. There it is. Everyone will notice it. Okay, so I'll get this downloaded and send it off to you sometime tonight or tomorrow morning, and I'll see you next week. Okay, thanks.